And one more issue we want to talk about with biofuels is actually looking at the future growth of that. And as you can see, a 50% growth in global demand in major food crops, and in 2008, 1/3 of the corn produced in the United States went to ethanol production. Again, these are all serious trends moving away from what was the traditional primary source of consumption for corn, which of course was human consumption. Next, take a look at climate change, and there's a very drastic artist representation. This is one prediction of what will happen at one point near the Arctic Circle. And whenever you take a look at whether you believe in climate change or not, I always say you look at where the money is going and where the money is investing. Climate change is a critical issue, and from a business perspective, there are many opportunities. And so businesses are looking at climate change from a financial perspective. As you can see on this slide here, what happens is that the North Pole, which again traditionally has been completely frozen, there has not been a pathway, has been just minorly explored, has become a driving force for future development. And the idea here is that at some point in the future is that there'll be a clear passage through the North Pole, and that we do not have to go around the North Pole to get trade. So therefore now the countries are all battling for who has access, who has to rights of different parts of the North Pole. And as the ice breaks up, what will happen is that they will become trade routes. These all are serious concerns when we take a look at the role of developing countries. Of the 37 identified countries which there are hunger or famine issues, 22 had suffered some kind of significant adverse weather conditions. Climate change is a direct or indirect on these adverse weather conditions. What will happen is that traditionally very dry, hot, arid countries will get even more intense climate and more hotter and drier, as well as countries that are near oceans will have huge impacts on coastal land as the climate change impacts the ice caps and starts melting. So some of the predictions that under the current trends that climate change could take impact over time: 50% a reduction of rain fed crops in Africa, 50 million more people put at risk of hunger, 1 billion more people in Asia, water shortages due to melting glaciers. Approximately 3 billion people use primitive stoves fueled by crop waste, wood, coal, or dung to cook their food. Smoke from the fires kill 1.9 million people annually from lung and heart diseases and low birth rates. The stoves produce millions of tons of soot that increase global warming. Soot, or black carbon, which is also more of the technical term to it, is the number 2 contributor to global warming after carbon dioxide. And soot particles warm the air and melt the ice by absorbing the sun's heat when they settle on glaciers. We'll take a short break, and I'll be back in a minute.